Nick, it's good to see you. Today we're talking about the biggest jump in the Social Security COLA in decades. This is really exciting news. Social Security just announced an 8.7 increase. Take a look at these numbers. It's bananas.
It's
This is the
crazy.
largest inflation adjustment since 1981 when it was 11.2%. The COLA adjustment is going to be applied to benefits in January. So Nick, why is this year's COLA so big?
Well, it's so big because it has to do with the consumer price index, or what we out there say the CPI. It has to do everything with inflation. Inflation is at not 40-year highs. We haven't seen inflation this high since the same time, 1980s. And so as a result, the government's gone in and said, well, how can we help people out? And just like last year, it went up a little bit over 5%. This year, it's going up over 8%. To help people live through a time where we have what I'm calling hyperinflation. And so that's what's happening right now with it. But like you saw in that chart there, the mistake that people are going to make is, oh, it went up 5% this year, it's going up 8%. Or, last year it went up 5%, this year it's going up 8%. So I'm just going to go ahead and plan that Social Security every year is going to go up, 5 or 6%. And that's a trap you don't want to fall into. If we think about what happened during the Great Recession, like 2008, 2009, and we had a couple years in there where Social Security didn't even go up. So you don't want to bank on this happening year over year because it's happened this year. Long term, maybe plan for 2%. I tell my clients, don't plan for Social Security to go up any more than 1%. We want to shoot low. So we always want to hope for the best, but plan for the worst.
Yeah, well said, well said. So Nick, I was surprised to recently learn that 42% of adults said that they actually plan to claim their Social Security benefits earlier. That's up from 36% in 2021 because they're concerned that the Social Security benefits are going to run out. Now, considering this COLA increase, is that a valid concern?
I think so, because I went to a website. So if you look at your Social Security statement, at the bottom of it, there's a website. It's like ssa.gov/be there for me, I think is what it actually is. And if you get this nice little handy dandy cheat sheet, and on this cheat sheet, it says right here that Social Security will be able to pay all benefits in full and on time until 2034. But then over here in this little section right here, it says, even if legislation changes are not made before 2034, we'll still be able to pay 78% of each benefit due. 78%. So they're already saying on your statement, there's a potential that we're going to give you a haircut in the future after 2034 because we might not have enough money. Well, if that was being said before, now that you've increased Social Security by 8%, where's that coming from? And I think it's a valid concern that people are going to have about that. And so what's happening is there's a lot of people now that are saying, oh, Social Security has gone up because of this cost of living adjustment. So I'm going to lock in that number now, and I'm just going to start taking Social Security. Although I'm 62, I'm going to start taking Social Security. And what you're finding is that you're getting a haircut then because you're taking it before your full retirement age. You're not letting it marinate and build up. And then if later on they cut benefits and they only give you 78% of your benefits, you're getting a 22% cut later, you're effectively getting a haircut of a haircut. Yeah. So you got to really do some planning when it comes to Social Security.
Right. So I think this brings us then to the $1 million question, which is when should I claim those benefits, right? Because Nick, we know that, as you just mentioned, the sooner that you claim, the less your lifetime benefit. So how do you factor the COLA into this?
Well, so COLA is going to affect all of it, and it's going to go up. All those numbers are going to go up by 8%. So it's not just going to affect the 62-year-old or the 70-year-old. But here's what happens. Cost of living adjustment, if you think of just that chart right there, 8% of $700 is a much smaller amount than an 8% increase on $1,240. So the longer you wait to take Social Security benefits, the better, because when they do these cost of living adjustments, you're actually going to be getting a bigger increase by dollar than if you had turned on benefits sooner. Here's an example too, and something I tell people is that you got to make sure to look at Social Security not on an island. Social Security is not this off decision. It's just a decision for Social Security, and I don't have to worry about anything else. It doesn't have anything to do with my IRAs, my 401ks, or any of that. You can't look at it that way. You have to look at Social Security as part of your total financial plan. It's an asset, just like anything else. For example, I had a gentleman, I jotted this down because I wanted to make sure we covered this, is I had a gentleman who said, well, if I wait until 70 years old, I'm going to get $4,000 a month of Social Security. But if I take it, because I want to take it now, though, Nick, at 62 years old. And that benefit would be $2,240. So not $4,000 at age 70, but $2,240. Here's the difference. If he waits till 70, he gets $48,000 a year. But if he takes it at 62, he's getting $26,880. That's a difference of over $21,000 a year.
That's a big
So
difference.
if he didn't, it's a big difference. In dollars and cents, in order to create $21,000 of income, he would have to have a $500,000 investment somewhere else to be able to make up that difference. So you can't look at it as it's a decision that's on an island that you can't make, because if you're not getting more from Social Security these days because of inflation, you're gonna have to take more out of your assets to help make ends meet. And so I'd much rather get more out of the government's pocket and keep mine for myself for later on than to take benefits early and then have to get into my pocketbook sooner.
Right. Well, that does make sense. So one more question for you. There is some additional good news for Medicare enrollees. What's that?
So Medicare is actually decreasing. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It almost never happens. Last year, when Social Security went up 5%, Medicare premiums went up 14%. This year, however, Social Security is going up over 8%, cost of living adjustment, but Medicare premiums are actually going down 3%. Now, don't get too excited. That only equates to $5 for most people. But it is going down. It's one of the very first times that I can remember that Medicare premiums are going down, because usually what happens is as Social Security increases, Medicare premiums are increasing too. So as I say it, the government giveth, the government taketh away. But in this kind of regard, this year, for some reason, Medicare premiums are going down. Again, just like I wouldn't expect Social Security year over year to be at 8% every year, I also wouldn't expect your Medicare premiums next year to decrease.
Right.
We all know the cost of long-term care and health insurance, how that increases over time, just like college education. And so just because it happened this year one year does not create a trend.
Right. Certainly not. Well, this was really helpful to talk this through. What I'm hearing is that there's no cookie cutter option to figuring out when your best claiming strategy is. So if somebody has questions, Nick, what's the best way to reach you?
So the best way is they can either go to our website, group10financial.com. It doesn't matter if you spell it group10financial.com or group10tenfinancial.com. There's a lot of resources there. There's links to our Facebook page, our YouTube page, where there's content coming out every week. We also have a radio show that you can tie into. All you can do is you can go to onthemoneyshow.com. And you can get access to over 100 podcasts that we put together with a lot of content. But a lot of this stuff, it's like you can't just look at this. This is general, right? But everybody's situation is completely specific, and you can't have a cookie cutter approach. It should be your plan. When you create a financial plan, should be just like your DNA. That's what we talk about on the radio show. It should just be as unique as your DNA. And so you can also reach out to us, and we can help you kind of put together a 15-minute consultation, a strategy session where we can ask you some questions and find out if there's anything that needs to be addressed. And you can get all those questions answered by calling us at 407-960-4052.
All right, Nick, thank you very much.
Aaron, great being with you.